Hi, I'm back with Ernest Garfield, Ernie, known to his friends, and you are his friends. We're talking to entrepreneurs, our friends that are entrepreneurs, and actually wanting to help them out. Our next segment is on rain, shine, or partly cloudy. What's the economic forecast?
Well, first of all, I think that's a great title because it's all three, depending on who you talk to. Depends on the attitude of the entrepreneur. If the entrepreneur is positive and can move ahead and adjust to the economic cycle, that person will do well. If the entrepreneur is not positive, that person will not do well. But we do have to adjust to the circumstances that we're given. We don't have any control over that, but we do control our own business and how we deal with that economic cycle.
Okay, so how do we incorporate the knowledge of the economic cycle into our business? Is it finding new solutions? Is it saying that I have to generate more cash, lower prices? Does it really just depend on the entrepreneur and their business?
Well, I'll give you an example with a couple of banks. Republic Bank, we started it 5 years ago. And the reason I started Republic this time is because the first Republic that we had on North Central did so well and had such a good reputation. I thought we may as well capitalize on that. We had it 12 years and we sold it for 4.5 times book value. So what happened is when we started this Republic, it was right at the beginning of the recession and it suffered. But within short order, the board changed their business plan to adjust to the circumstance, the economic circumstance, and consequently in their third year, they made 41% return on equity. And then this year, the fifth year, they've made over $1 million already, and it's a small bank. And it's now a 5-rated bank, and it's because the entrepreneurs running that bank and the people sitting at the table are entrepreneurs. They made the adjustment. And we had the same thing with Pinnacle Bank. Pinnacle Bank started right at the beginning there at the recession, or just before it, suffered, and then changed their business plan, and they are now a 4-star rated bank. So they are doing well because their board had the vision to understand the need to make changes.
Okay. So you're saying business plans are good for vision and thinking out your business and all of that, but you have to be able to adjust it depending economic, whatever the political change is, whatever happens, the weather. I mean, different things like that is something you have to take into consideration.
Yeah, and you know, I marvel at entrepreneurs because I deal with them on a regular basis. I very rarely put anybody on a bank board that is not a business owner. On occasion I do because there are other people that have certainly the status and the ability to help. But I've got over 400 directors, the banks we put together, and probably over 1,000 advisors that are brought to the table to help the banks. And I always marvel at what they accomplish. Now, I have one person that is not on one of my bank boards, but I wish he had been. And it's a guy in California that invented the drone in his garage. Can you imagine he changed warfare by just an idea that went through his mind? His wife didn't even like him creating the drone. And I have directors on these bank boards that are phenomenal people because they have businesses that perhaps don't even have competition because they thought of them, they created them, and there's nobody else around doing it. Now, many of them are in competitive businesses, but lots of them are not. When we build a business plan, we build it around the board. I don't want any of the banks that I'm involved in getting into lending in areas where there isn't somebody on the board that understands that particular industry. So if we're going to have commercial lending, you better have somebody on the board that's in that business. If you're going to have construction lending, I want somebody on the board that's in the business. If you're going to have health care, I want somebody on the board that's in that business.
Okay, so what I'm hearing, and for our audience before we close out this segment is basically what Ernie's saying is that not only do you have to be flexible with your business plan if you want to grow your business, you have to think outside of the box, which is natural for entrepreneurs, but you also are saying that there's an element to business, but there's small banks that specifically address certain needs, whether it's commercial lending, small business lending,
right.
Whatever it looks like. And so in your research, you want to look for that. And we're going to go ahead and provide, again, the websites that Ernie's talking about, some helpful websites for that research. And so thank you so much, Ernie. We're going to have another segment with Ernie, and we'll be back with you. Take care.